Great. We'll get that in there.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm Spicer Bell. I'm the president of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and we welcome you to this series of programs. And I want to start off with our expression of appreciation to our friends here at PAC 14 for allowing us to take these messages out to the community. Through this series of programs, we shine the Community Foundation Spotlight on organizations that are making a difference in our community. And today, my guest is Sue Revel. Sue, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Spicer.
Sue is the Executive Director of Women Supporting Women.
Thank you so much for having me here and allowing me to share with our community.
Okay, great. Women Supporting Women. What is it?
That is a regional breast cancer support organization.
Okay. And you were one of the founders.
Yes, I was.
Give our viewers a little history of how Women Supporting Women came into existence.
Well, back in 1993, there was actually no support for breast cancer survivors and actually no support for cancer survivors at that time. And two other ladies, Carol Prager and Harriet Fine and I, got together and realized the community need. And we had our very first meeting and was shocked to find that we had like 28 women. And it really was not announced that well. It was sort of by word of mouth. And we decided that it was time for us to have something support-wise that was direct when people were diagnosed.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, certainly women, breast cancer is not unique to women. There are men who suffer from breast cancer also, but it is particularly associated with women, and it's kind of a scary diagnosis.
It is. It's very scary. You hear a lot about it, but when the time comes and it's actually you that's diagnosed, it's a scramble for educational materials and to get a grasp on exactly what does this mean and what kind of treatments.
And someone's been in for their mammogram and their subsequent diagnostic, and some doctors sitting across the desk from give them that word that they have breast cancer. Where do you all come in?
Well, normally what happens is, and this is what I've been told by women and men who have been diagnosed, once the physician says to them, you've been diagnosed with cancer or breast cancer, probably about 85% of the rest of what's said is gone. They don't hear anything. So they leave there in fear, anxiety, and lack of education because they've not heard what their treatment options are. So they can walk right over to our office. The doctor will be giving them a bag of information because that's probably one of the most important things that we feel is empowering this woman or man so they can be part of the decision making. And we go ahead and have that information available right at the surgeon's office.
Yeah, you've assembled a packet of information that the physician's offices pass on to those individuals.
In all three counties, because we have offices in Wicomico, Worcester, Somerset, and they provide our nice bag to that patient so they can take that home and go through and read about breast cancer and the treatments, and it has support information in there also.
Okay. And typically, what services do you provide? I mean, if that person chooses to connect with your organization, what services does Women Supporting Women make available for their support?
Well, in the very beginning, we just started with our educational packets, and those were really unique to our organization. And with the newly diagnosed bag, it was so well received that we then did what we call a tote bag, and it's some information on chemotherapy. So as they walk through newly diagnosed chemotherapy, radiation, and we have added on children's information, which is age-related. We have that walk-through bags. We also have added in a supportive pillow we call a piglet. Looks like a big dog bone, and they use that after surgery underneath a surgical arm for comfort. And we have now a lift chair. We have two. We are finding more and more women opting out for surgery, having bilateral mastectomies or having both breasts removed. And trying to get up from a laying position is really difficult. So we now have two lift chairs that go out, stay there for 2 or 3 weeks for them to be able to come up comfortably. And we do have wigs, which is open to any cancer patient. And we have a whole room full of wigs. They're free. Our services are all free that we
Sure.
offer.
Yeah, I will comment, you obviously, I visited your office and those lift chairs are really comfortable. I keep aspiring when one's there to come over and just take my afternoon nap there, but I have not done that yet. But I think those are some examples of some of the types of services that you have available that folks wouldn't imagine were there.
Yeah, and we actually put a newsletter out that's about 16 pages every month. We have information on the newest medical articles, nutrition, complementary medicine. We have a survivor story, and then each of our chapters have some information. And that, again, is a free newsletter that goes out to, right now, about 1,500 people.
Now, Sue, there seem to be a lot of folks or organizations that are in the pink ribbon, in the breast cancer business, if you will. What makes your organization different?
What makes our organization different is that we have direct support. I feel that the national organizations who are involved with the pink ribbon are a critical part of the piece of puzzle. And I think it's imperative that we are all working together for our survivor. The nationals pretty much are raising funding for the cure. And
for research
and for
and things like that.
research and for some grants. And that's very important. But what we do is we're here for the survivor right on the front lines. When you're diagnosed, we have direct support. We're there to come in and get the information immediately. We're there to give hugs. We're there to do follow-ups with mentoring and sending cards and making sure that that person has everything they need to get through the immediate diagnosis. And that's probably the biggest difference.
And you have a number of folks who are active in your organization who themselves are survivors, sometimes some quite long-term survivors.
Yes.
And do they provide then a support structure for the people who are recently diagnosed?
Yes, our support group meetings, which are once a month in each chapter, we always have somebody available to give inspiration and let people know that breast cancer has changed dramatically as far as treatment goes. So we have a lot more people out there living through their diagnosis and are productive members in our community. And we have actually thousands down here. I think that most of the people in the community really have no concept on the amount of women who have been through the treatment and doing quite well.
And long-term survivors, certainly. I mean,
Yes.
the key to long-term surviving is also early diagnosis.
Absolutely. Early detection is something that we really promote.
How do you do that? What role do you play, does your organization play in promoting the type of testing that will result in early diagnosis?
We attend health fairs wherever we are asked. I usually go out, and some of our survivors go out with me to do talks to any community organization that would like to have us. We try to go to all the media that's available, newspapers, magazines, TV, radio, and promote early detection out into our community. In fact, that is part of our mission, which is awareness, education, and support to all those affected by breast cancer.
And that early detection is primarily through a regular mammogram.
It's mammogram, but we also feel that they need to do a monthly self-breast exam,
Self-breast exam.
and to once a year have a clinical exam by somebody in the health field, like a nurse practitioner or a physician.
Okay, and when should a woman start with that type of preventive checking?
Self-breast exam should start at around age 20. And mammograms should start at age 40 unless they have a strong genetic family history. And if there's a family history, then the recommendation is to start with mammograms 10 years prior to the average 40-year starting point.
So, now, if someone has limited health insurance or doesn't have health insurance, is there assistance available for them for getting mammograms?
Yes, there is. The health department has a wonderful system through the state of Maryland, and they can do free mammograms depending on the financial status, and they just need to call down there anywhere between the ages of 40 and 64, and they can go through their local community health department, they have a breast and cervical screening program, and they can get free mammograms through there.
Great. All right, so we need to try to help get that word out.
Yes.
That's for sure. How is women supporting women funded? You know, you said you don't charge for any of your services. You provide packets and information for newly diagnosed people, wigs, a lot of different things. Where's the money come from?
Our funding comes mainly from our community, and that would be either businesses, individuals. Some people opt out of birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, and they ask the people coming to their party to make a donation to us. We have fundraisers. We also have an endowment with the Community Foundation, which we'd always like to have a donation for. Sure. And we have planning programs that we can go out and talk to people about.
Okay. Well, a given year, how much money you have to raise to keep women supporting women alive?
Well, at least 300,000 plus.
Yeah.
It's very difficult in this economy right now, and it's important that we're keeping our free services available. We have more and more survivors. We had over 300 diagnosed that we were aware of last year.
Mm-hmm. And you were able to reach out to them across the region.
Yes, because we've found that we are now picking up Lower Sussex, and we're picking up down in Accomack, the upper part, like Chincoteague and Tees Corner, in that area. We've had a lot more survivors coming to us and asking for services.
Well, I would assume that many of those people gravitate towards PRMC and the physician network around it for medical services, so it puts them right in your catchment area.
Yes, it does, and we're right off of Route 50, so a lot of people are traveling that area or can pick up the bypass and come and see us. And that's exactly why we're getting a lot more. Mm-hmm. Plus, I feel that people are hearing about our services and know what we have. We actually have a support group in Cambridge now.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. You're watching Community Foundation Spotlight. I'm Spicer Bell. I'm the president of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. And my guest today is Sue Revel, and Sue is the executive director of Women Supporting Women, a breast cancer support group here on the Lower Eastern Shore. And we're learning about their services and a little bit about their future plans. What's in the future for Women Supporting Women?
Okay. What we've looked at, and we feel that is so critical, I've had so many women come and say to me, gee, I'm done with my treatment, I'm all finished, and I kind of feel empty, like I should be doing something to try to boost my immune system so that I can work on not really preventing a recurrence, but trying to keep my immune system so that it doesn't, my cancer doesn't come back. And I really I don't know what to do. So I think our future is going to be looking into doing two things that we feel are critical. One is nutritional teaching. Mm-hmm. I think the food that they consume and how they consume it is absolutely critical to their immune system, and also exercise. So we're looking into starting programs in those two areas. We're also looking into having a few more support groups. We've looked into Pocomoke, which would then bring down part of Somerset and then bring up bring up the people from Virginia, because they've been asking for something in that area.
Okay, so expand. Now you have offices in Berlin currently, and an office in Crisfield, correct?
Crisfield, yes, and our regional office here in Salisbury.
Okay, great. So continuing to reach to new populations and new services. So,
yes.
Things like nutrition. Is there now a clinical body of evidence that guides your work there in terms of what's...
There is. They've done a lot of research on nutrition, and I just think a lot of it's education. Mm-hmm. It's just like telling somebody that they're overweight, but not giving them information on how to change that. Mm-hmm. And I think that people are very, very interested in their health, more so than they used to be, and need to be directed on how to make their health better. Mm-hmm. It goes across the line, too. It's not just for breast cancer. When they are boosting their immune system and making their health better for possible no recurrence, they're also boosting their health in general
Sure.
to cover any kind of disease.
Sure. And unfortunately, we work with some other, health care organizations. We've worked a lot with the American Diabetes Association, and diabetes is almost epidemic proportions on the Lower Shore, and it's so very much related to obesity. And those are all issues that people can address if they're educated in proper eating and food preparation practices and that sort of thing.
Well, I think the best thing is that there is something that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so to get that information out and have it available is so important. It also, again, empowers the person. When you're diagnosed with cancer, the first feeling you have is, wow, my life's been taken away from me and changed. What can I do to get a little bit control back again? And so piecemealing it in for this person. And we actually have evidence-based information now on exercise. And they used to say, oh, don't do anything till you're totally done with treatment. Well, we have studies out of the University of Pennsylvania who have actually shown now that walking and doing some strength exercising throughout the treatment will give you better, less side effects and better outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. I'm a cancer survivor. I actually had a conversation last night with a wife of a friend who just recently has been diagnosed, and part of his treatment regimen, he's being treated at Hopkins, is they are urging him to get out, get walking, go to a gym, do some weightlifting and what have you, because they view that as part of what's going to help keep him fit through his treatment regime. So it actually mirrors perfectly, in interesting timing, what you're saying. It's really, really interesting. You talking about exercise and getting people out and getting people fit. It's a segue into your walk that's coming up.
It is.
You have a big walk coming
Yes,
up.
we want everybody to grab their sneakers, grab their dog, and come out on Saturday, the 8th of October.
Okay.
It will be at Winter Place Park.
Okay.
Come a little bit early because we had 1,300 people last year. So
Oh,
to
you
get
can
a
have
good
2,000 this year.
Well, we
Big
are
crowd.
hoping for it.
Big crowd.
Big crowd.
But
The
fun
walk
crowd.
starts at 10, actually. Come out around 9. Come visit our vendors. Bring your doggie. We had 70 dogs. They get a little treat bag and they get a little scarf. The people participating will get a T-shirt, and Texas Roadhouse is going to provide lunch for us this year.
Fantastic.
And we had a wonderful time last year, a lot of fun. We have a dove release by CR Doves, and so that's a little emotional, but very, very nice. And we just want you to come out and have a good time. I would like to say one thing. It's so important for us to have survivors come out because it's so critical for people who are standing in that group. Should it happen that they're diagnosed the next year, I want them to know how many people we have in the community who are beating breast cancer and who are out into our community and are productive people and going on with their lives. And this is kind of a symbol when everybody comes together and we get our group picture of all the survivors and everybody looks at them. It's like, wow, you know, if this happens to me, I can do it. I can make it through.
It's a celebration, really. I mean, certainly it's an important fundraiser for you all, but it's a celebration of what we can do as a community.
Yes.
Here locally to address this issue it's a very serious health care issue for some individuals and families. So, I mean, I guess we're fortunate if we may go through life and not be touched by it, but I suspect there are very, very few families that are not touched in one way or another by breast cancer.
There are an amazing amount of people down here, and again, a lot of times you won't even know.
Sure.
You'll be working with or know people. When the women are diagnosed, though, it's always interesting how they come back and they go, wow, I've worked with this lady for 10 years and I didn't know she had breast cancer. But people will come out. Our community is so wonderful. People will come out and say to them, walk up to them in the store if they have a scarf on and they see that they've lost their hair. I know what you're going through. I just want you to know that I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with our businesses. They have supported our organization, and I cannot thank them enough for what they've done for us. They just continue to give and give. I just think our community is outstanding.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, you have a motto for women supporting women?
We do. It's local services, local support, and that's
Okay.
what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. You know, I mean,
Yes.
and there are huge national pink ribbon campaigns. We don't want to take anything away from them. But if somebody wants to support an organization that's providing local services and local support, you're it.
Our funding stays 100% here on the shore.
Right. Very
Yes.
good. What other events do you have coming up? I know you have a busy fall.
Well, we probably have about 15. If you go to our website, I can't really go over all of them right now, but in each of our chapters, because of October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we have a lot of people that we're grateful for that are putting on events for us to help raise funding. But we have this year developed a team to go in the Seagull Century. So that's another big area up here. If you have not joined, please go again to our website and you can register. If you raise $250 for us, we will give you a really nice riding shirt. Teal for the men and pink for the ladies.
Salisbury
And
Cycle is working with you to
Salisbury
get
Cycle
those.
is working with us, yes. And you can call the office if you want and get information, just like you can for the walk. But we would like very much to have a showing to have breast cancer awareness be part of the Seagull Century this year.
Great, very good. It's a great event, and so I know my wife and I participate. We registered a couple weeks ago, and we're already riders, I think, in the 5,400s. So it's going to be a big crowd again this year. It's still a month off. And now you had a neat event, I guess back in the spring, that you did with the Art Institute and Gallery, and you're doing a repeat of that in Berlin coming up.
Well,
Is
we
it-
did.
Oh,
Yeah, we just
Berlin's
had it last
done.
week. Yeah.
Tell our viewers about that.
Well, it's called Bras for a Cause. And it's not an original. We did steal it from somewhere else that we
That's
had
right.
seen. But we really liked the idea.
But you gave it a neat twist.
What we did was that we asked businesses to come together and individuals and decorate a bra and to title it. And we had AING downtown work with us, and that's where we displayed all the bras. We had 27.
It was an art show.
It was an art show
around
in
the
and
bra.
of itself. And we had so much fun with it. And
Yeah.
all of the businesses and the people that participated just had a great time. We picked winners. It was like the People's Choice and the one that had the best title to go with the bra. We got some absolutely, I just could not get over how creative people were. I just can't stop saying how much fun we had. So it went so well that we decided to do it down in our Worcester chapter. So we got people in the businesses down there, and Bruder Hill was the demo area, and they brought them all in and put spotlights on them, and they had 20 people participate for their first time. And they're saying, gosh, when are you going to do it again next year? Because my friends decided they liked it.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I want people to at least get it on their tentative calendar for next year.
Well, we are going to do it in our Salisbury area at the center of Salisbury next year. So we're going to have a huge display out there for a lot of
And
people
when
to
will
see.
that be?
It will be sometime probably the month of May.
May, okay.
So, go to our website to take a look and keep posted. We'll be on Facebook and Twitter and let everybody know. But I know a lot of people are really interested in it, and you can vote.
Yeah, a great team builder
Yes.
for businesses. I think, you had some businesses that did a great job of decorating bras around whatever their logo was or their theme was and that sort of thing. Great team builder, great way for those businesses to say, we're there for our employees who have been through
It was
breast
really a
cancer
win-win all the
diagnosis.
way around. We got our organization's name out. We got breast cancer awareness out. We had team building for, like you're saying, for the business themselves. and we had fun. And what more can you ask for?
Great, great. And if anybody is in doubt, they can stop by your office and you
Yes,
have
and
some on
we
display.
have some on display for you to take a look at.
You can't look at them without getting a chuckle. You really can't. They're wonderful. So if anybody wants us, nothing else, they want to get a lighthearted moment, they should stop by your office, introduce themselves, and ask to look at the wall of bras.
Yes. That's what we will have to name it, our wall of bras.
But it's it's a very serious issue, but it's a way of looking at it in a lighthearted way, and again focusing folks' awareness on this very important issue for many people in our community. So, question I always try to ask is, what can the community do to support women supporting women? Where do you need help?
There are several areas. A big one is always volunteering. We're always looking for people to help us with our fundraisers in our office. We have a couple churches right now, and we can always use more who can knit or crochet blankets for our chemotherapy, ladies going through chemotherapy, so that keep them warm. We have the Piglet pillows that need to be sewn and stuffed, and we have our bags that we put our information in, so they need to be sewn. And I would say most of all is to help us with our funding. And those are the areas. Sometimes people want to do fundraisers for us, so that's always wonderful to come in and talk to us about that, and we can support them.
And they don't have to be huge fundraisers. I mean, it could be a business that's willing to devote part of the proceeds of a particular evening or something like that. That would be the type of thing. You've had some clubs. I think you've had a couple motorcycle clubs that have done events that support your work. So it's a matter of some folks who are viewing, being creative, and deciding that yours is an organization they'd like to reach out to.
And they'll be doing two purposes. One is breast cancer awareness in their community, and also letting them know that we're available for our free services.
Okay, great. Well, Sue, is there anything I should have asked that I haven't asked?
No, I think you did a fantastic job. I think you covered every single thing.
Well, Sue, the fantastic job is the job that's done by Women Supporting Women. And we're glad to be able to support you, and we're glad to be able to use this show as an opportunity to help you reach out to the community. And we hope that there are viewers that were not familiar with Women Supporting Women, and that they will reach out to you and volunteer, or if need be, seek out your services when the time is necessary. So. We thank you for all you do.
Well, Spicer, I thank you so much for having me on today.
Okay, great. You've been watching Community Foundation Spotlight. My guest today is Sue Revel. She is the Executive Director of Women Supporting Women, our local breast cancer support group. As she told us, it's local program, local support. Local services, all local here on the Lower Eastern Shore. I want to remind you also for the Community Foundation, we have our annual meeting coming up. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate with the community all the good work that's done by nonprofit organizations that are supported by the Community Foundation. That's a meeting where we award the Henson Award for Nonprofit Excellence. It was
and by the way, we received that last year
yes. for the excellent work. We also award the Frank Morris Award for humanitarian service to the community, and we're adding another award this year. It's a Volunteer of the Year award, and Sue, I hope we're going to get some volunteer nominees from Women Supporting Women. We feel by honoring one volunteer, we're all honoring all volunteers, and if you know someone who's really special, nominate them for that award. But join us on November 4th, 11:30 in the morning at the fountains. If you would be interested, go to our website, www.cfes.org, and get more details about our annual meeting. You can purchase tickets online, and we'll look forward to seeing you there on November 4th. And thank you for viewing PAC 14 and sharing this time with us on the Community Foundation Spotlight.
Cool. Sue, if you could look at Spicer for me and a nice smile. For
Little bobblehead.
Little bobblehead.
It just gives him something to cover his edits if I've screwed up.
You did say cover his edits, right?
Your edits,
Yes.
your edits when I screw up.
No, you never screw up. It's always my fault. All right, I'll be right in to get some information.
Okay, great.
Wow,
Good, thank you, Sue.
That was excellent.
Appreciate it. I think we covered